Hey everyone, it's Mrs. Slauson. So sorry I am out again today for you guys. I had to go do a follow-up appointment, so unexpected, but yeah. So you have this page, it's blue. We already did one on the front and one on the back together. So what I want to do is give you the opportunity to see another one. And so on the front, we're going to be doing this problem right here. My graphing calculator will be popping up from time to time, so just keep that in mind, all right? So we need to know the degree, the end behavior, also known as our shape. So I'm just going to write that here. We need to know the y-intercept, and we'll figure that out by making our x become 0. And then we need to find our zeros, also known as our x-intercepts, by taking our factors, which are usually in parentheses, setting those equal to 0, and then solving. So let's start with number 2. So first, I'm just going to write everything out. So 1/4 x cubed means there are 3 x's happening. And then I've got my x plus 4 and my x minus 5. And now I want to know the shape. So that would mean I would need the line leader when it would be in standard form. And so I'm just going to take the first from every factor and see how many x's I have along with that 1/4. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 x's. And this says to me it's going to be a line that is not flipped. All right, for the y-intercept, I am going to go into my problem, and I'm just going to make all of these x's become 0. So what I'm going to do, because I just don't have a lot of room, I tend to write bigger on this thing, is I'm just going to go here and take all these x's and make them 0. And then you can go to your graphing calculator if you want and just type it in. So let's see. So I could type, I'd put my fraction in parentheses, so 1/4. Whoop, that's not what I meant to do. And then I could take that. Sorry, this is a little tougher on the computer screen. I'm going to get it. And then I would take times 0 times 0 times, I'm just trying to hit this multiplication button. It is not working for me. Times 0 times 0, and then times my parentheses, and I could do 0 plus 4, close those parentheses, and then 0 minus 5. And once I hit enter, I can see my y-intercept. It's just going to be 0. So if x is 0, my y is 0. And then for the factors, I'm going to take all of my factors and now set those equal to 0. So I would take x minus 5, set it equal to 0. I'd add the 5, and I'd get one of my zeros. I would do x plus 4. I'd set that equal to 0, subtract the 4, and get negative 4. And then I would take all of these x's, set them all equal to 0, which I really don't have to do all of them, but 0 would appear 3 times. The 1/4 has nothing to do with it. There is nothing to, there is no x. 1/4 is just 1/4. It helped us with our shape, but it's not part of the factors I need to find my zeros or x-intercepts. So now I'm going to graph my points. So I've got 5 over here and negative 4 over here. 0, and 0 is going to wiggle, and the others are going to cross. And then I'm going to take my end behavior, so it's falling on the left and rising on the right, and I'm just going to cross through, turn, wiggle my way through, and then cross back up. Now, if by chance you get an imaginary solution for your zeros or x-intercepts, the imaginary numbers do not make it on the graph, so I would not put them over here. All right? All right, let's go to one on the back then. So let's take a look at number 5. So real quick, what can I see from it? I can see from my line leader that I'm going to have a regular U shape. My y-intercept, just a reminder, I'm going to make my x become 0. So if I just go in there real quick and put 0 in, and then you could type this into your calculator. And when you do, you're going to see that you get negative 12 as an answer. So I'm going to put that there. And now I'm going to find my zeros or my x-intercepts, which is where I'm going to need the factors, and I really need those factors because then I'll set those factors equal to 0. So I'm going to be factoring this. So I'm going to erase what I have here. And the first step of all factoring is GCF, which this does not have. So I'm going to go straight to my x. I need factors of -24 that make -5. Oops, it's supposed to be a fourth and a squared there, and that's going to be a -8 with a 3. And now I'm going to make my parentheses, and x and x are not enough. X and x make x squared. X squared and x squared are not enough. They only make x to the fourth. I've got to get 2x to the fourth when these multiply. So I'm going to put a 2 in there, and then I'll draw my face. Remember, the face is to make these numbers. Don't just put -8 and 3 in those parentheses. I'll have a 2x squared multiply with a -4 to get the -8x squared over here. And then I'll have x squared multiply with a +3 to get the 3x squared. And so now I'm going to take my factors. I'm going to set them equal to 0. So I'm going to subtract 3, divide by 2. I'm just going to put the decimal. And then again, I can go to my calculator and take the square root of that number, which, let's see. So second square root, whoops, again, this thing is so finicky, -1.5. Now, I'm just going to put the 1.5 in and see what it is, and then put the I with it. So I'm going to get a positive and negative 1.2i. Good answers, but won't get graphed. And then I'm going to take my other factor, and I'm going to add 4, and then take the square root of 4, so I get 2 and -2, and those will graph. I still want to realize that I should have 4 answers, and those 2 i's that I crossed out are part of them, but they're not going to make it on the graph paper. So here is my y-intercept. Here is my -2 and 2. They are both crossing, and there's the end behaviors. And now it's just going to cross through, turn to get to here, and then cross through. All right, and that is a little practice. If you want to take a few minutes, you can try 6 and you can try 3 on the other side, and I will leave an answer key with the substitute teacher, Mrs. Hunt. All right, thanks. See you guys next week.